If there is one thing that the recent Wave 5 trailer has taught us, it is to never expect the expected. In this trailer, we got Petey Piranha and Kamek, who were basically complete shoo-ins for the roster. But we also got the unexpected but welcome addition of Wiggler. Glad that they're here, speaking as someone who grew up with 7 and as someone who always loved the addition of them. But for speculation, a complete curveball, as it is basically impossible to guess who is going to be in the game's final wave. Who knows, maybe we won't get Diddy Kong and Pauline. Instead, we'll get something like Monty, Mole, and Paratroopa. Or maybe if Nintendo had a brain, they could add Light Blue Pit Group Toad. But to each of our own, I guess. Of course, there are a lot of predictions out there that are trying to figure out who is going to be added, so may as well put my hat into the ring, right? I should preface that this video will only cover characters from past Mario Kart games, as that is what was said when Birdo was first revealed. Also, I'm not going to try to predict characters that'll come to tour. I mean, who knows who they'll add at this point, maybe something like Warped. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at our first game, Mario Kart Double Dash. Fine, I'll talk about Donkey Kong Jr.
Disappointment in the game of life!
Donkey Kong Jr. is absolutely not joining the game. He would not work when trying to put him on a bike or ATV, he would look extremely out of place in Mario Kart 8's general art style, and there are way better choices when choosing someone from the Kong family. Put him in the no pile.
There's 2 of them!
With that obvious omission out of the way, we have our first Double Dash character, Paratroopa. Now it may seem like he has no chance, as he is practically a clone character, being a regular Koopa just with wings, but it could be possible that he can make it. Of course, not as a separate character. I think Nintendo knows better after all the clones that they added back in the Wii U days. No, I think he could make it as an alt, for Koopa at least. Of course, the only way that it could work is if they do start adding costumes in the game, which could happen in the final wave. I guess for now, he can just go in the maybe pile, purely just because of him becoming an alt. The other Double Dash character that is yet to be added is none other than Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong is widely regarded as being one of, if not the most likely character to be added back into Mario Kart 8. And, to be fair, it really isn't too far of a stretch to say that. He has had a long history in both the Donkey Kong Country, Mario spin-offs, and Nintendo in general. He also has consistently been one of the most wanted characters in basically any Mario Kart game he's not in, and fan demand is only getting higher. And Mario Kart is in desperate need for a new Kong. So of course, this must all mean that he's likely right. While those are all good pointers towards Diddy Kong, we do need to consider one thing. A third of the characters that we have already are in Double Dash. Now, sure, you may argue that variety isn't exactly Nintendo's priority, but having only 4, maybe even 3 games represented from 6 characters, you gotta admit, it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Now, it's not to say that Diddy won't get in the game. I mean, just look how much he has going for him. I even said that Paratroopa can get in as an alt. But for now, I just don't think he'll get in. I know, a bit of a controversial opinion. Don't worry, there'll be more later. But it's just not really looking good for him. The only way I can really see him coming back is if they add DK Mountain back. Other than, well, more on that later.
Look at all those Eggman's robots!
After Double Dash, we have Mario Kart DS. Fortunately, Mario Kart DS only has one character that has yet to return to Mario Kart 8, even at all. That character is none other than the infamous robotic operating buddy, R.O.B. R.O.B has been a pretty controversial character in the Mario Kart community as of recently, as there are a ton of people that say he has a chance of getting in, while there's a lot that say that he doesn't. Personally, I'm in the boat of people that think that he has a shot. Now, let me rephrase that. I think he's one of the most likely characters in the series. Now, of course, I'm saying that after I completely ignored everything about Diddy Kong, but hear me out on this while I spill a TED Talk's worth of defenses. The biggest thing that's in his way, apparently, is the fact that he has yet to appear in Tour and that he wouldn't appear at all. Which is fair, we still have yet to see a non-Mario character in Tour, and everything we've gotten so far is borrowed from Tour. Almost. You see, when Riverside Park was revealed, we saw a brand new element in the series, that being the Patuis. This wasn't in the original version in Tour, and is a completely new hazard. Sure, this is pretty much the only example, but that does show that Nintendo isn't shy of making new things, even if it isn't in Tour. Another argument against R.O.B is that he would not fit on bikes or ATVs. Well, yeah, so apparently someone with more talent than I'll ever have made a R.O.B mod in this game, and he looks absolutely perfect. And really, the solution was simple. Just make Rob's base smaller and have it still seem like he's controlling the vehicle. It's really not that hard to implement him onto those type of vehicles. I mean, we just got Petey Piranha back and his stubby legs can barely reach the pedals. And don't even get me started on King Boo. But I think there's one more thing we need to consider when talking about his possibility of being in the game. It's the fact that the entire bottom row is made up of non-Mario characters. The Inklings, Villagers, Link, Isabelle, and the Miis all occupy this row, so it's pretty safe to assume that Nintendo would want it to keep it the same. And R.O.B is the only person that fits that category. People tend to rope in Funky Kong and Poochie into this category, with them technically being from a different series. But since they are from the same shared universe, I mean, hell, Poochie even appeared in Odyssey, they're technically not non-Mario characters. Ultimately, all the positives for R.O.B completely outweigh anything against him, which is why I think he is more than likely to appear in Wave 6. Calling back to my comment earlier, yeah, this is a bit of a hot take, but I think it just might happen. Next up is Mario Kart Wii, and we once again only have one character to work with, and that is Funky Kong. His case has a lot going against him, but also some things going in his favor. So for starters, the biggest hurdle that Funky has currently is whether or not he can get in over Diddy Kong. Now that I think about it, this is the only major roadblock in getting added to the game. It really depends on who Nintendo prioritizes, and it's really hard to tell who exactly they do. Yes, Diddy is the more sensible option, but we really gotta consider that Nintendo can be completely unpredictable at times. I mean, we didn't expect Wiggler to be added, did we? So who knows, maybe Funky will get in over Diddy. Another thing that we need to consider is that Nintendo has been really banking on Mario Kart Wii nostalgia the most with the Booster Course Pass, with us already having at least one per wave, with the last one expected to have Wii's Rainbow Road iteration in it. Hell, even some of the other representing games who have previously been represented in Wii came back, such as Waluigi Stadium, Mario Circuit 3, Peach Gardens, etc. So it's pretty safe to assume that Nintendo is really giving it to the Mario Kart Wii hype. So it could be safe to assume that Funky Kong is who they would choose, as he was without a doubt the most popular character in that game, regardless if he had good stats or not. He even broke the servers in Mario Kart Tour when he was released there. That is impressive. So really, it comes down to this. Either they pick the more sensible option, or they pick the popular option. And honestly, I can see them picking Funky. He just has that much legacy in Mario Kart despite only being in one console game. So for right now, I'm gonna put him in the more than likely pile. Yeah, I know, I probably offended a lot of Diddy Kong fans throughout this video, but just please stick with me.
No, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
After that long explanation, we have just one more console Mario Kart game, that being Mario Kart 7. And once again, we only have one character in the game, and that character is... Honey Queen. Look, I get that she has her fans, but let's be honest, do we really need her? Not that it really matters, as I'm pretty sure she is not coming back. While yes, she doesn't really have the same issue as Diddy Kong where there's too many returning characters in one game, Wiggler was kind of the only one they needed to bring back. Look, I know that Nintendo can make some wacky decisions from time to time, but do you really think that they're gonna look at the entire pool of characters that they have and just pick the obscure Galaxy character that fans didn't even like? Yeah, no, Nintendo can't be that dumb. Now with that out of the way, let's move on to our last game, Mario Kart Tour.
I can show you the world.
So, Tour has a lot of new characters, with the current total being 9 characters, maybe even 10 depending on who you ask. And really, I don't have the time to deep dive into all of them, so we're just gonna have to go at a rapid fire pace. Starting with our one-up girl, Pauline. Safe to say that she's extremely likely to be added. She got an insane comeback in Super Mario Odyssey and has appeared in many Mario spin-offs, which does include Mario Kart, so there is a high chance that she'll make it. Yeah, not happening. The only way she'll make it is if either Funky or Diddy make it, especially Diddy. Surprisingly, Hammer Bro actually has a solid chance of making it in. He was originally going to be in Mario Kart Wii, but was scrapped for unknown reasons. He is a fairly popular pick, and he has potential to bring in his ult as well, so it'd be a pretty fitting final pick if he does get in. I really want to say that Nappet has a good possibility of getting in, but I just don't think that he has the popularity nor the highest priority necessary to be added. Really hope I'm wrong on this one. Not even gonna sugarcoat it, there's no way he's making it in.
No!
Chuck would be a really good wildcard pick, but again, he suffers from having a real lack of popularity. But he has gotten a couple appearances as of late, most notably in Mario Golf Super Rush, so who knows, maybe Nintendo will add him. Once again, a really good wildcard pick, but this time he has a really good chance of getting in. He's been getting a lot of love in Tour as of late, and is fairly popular among all the other Yoshi characters, so I could totally see Nintendo adding him. Also has a good chance of getting in. He is a very iconic boss and has been appearing in some Mario spin-offs, and even got a spotlight in the movie. So yeah, high chance, honestly. And finally, we have Captain Toad. Pretty much the same deal as Paratroopa. And while we're at it, let's throw in Dr. Mario as well, because why not? Now that we have looked into every single character, let's try to figure out who's going to be our final two. Looking into our more than likely category, there is only one character that I think will get in, and it is R.O.B. I already gave all my reasonings as to why I think he's going to be in the game, so yeah, just keep all those in mind. But who will be the second one? Well, I think ones that we can easily single out are King Bob-omb and Poochie. Really, it's just because that they don't reach the popularity nor the priority from Nintendo, especially on Poochie's end. You'd think that he would have appeared back in Wave 4 when Yoshi's Island came out, right? It would just be really weird if he suddenly appeared in the final wave. But that just leaves us with our final three characters, that being Pauline, Hammer Bro, and Funky Kong. And among those three, I have to say, I don't think Hammer Bro is going to make it, because of the discrepancy with his ults. If he gets in, then so will his Ice, Fire, and Boomerang counterparts. And if that's going to happen, then they would have to make tons of separate animations for them, as they are completely different characters. They would have to give them all animations for cards, bikes, ATVs, just like they did with Birdo. Can they do it? Yeah, easily. But the better question is, do they want to? For now, I just don't think it's in the cards for them. So now we're just left with probably the most difficult decision. Pauline or Funky Kong? I'm gonna be real with you guys, I genuinely have no idea who has the edge on this. Both of them have really good arguments going for them, with popularity really not being a deciding factor in this. This might seem like a cop-out, but I can see either of them taking the spot. It's pretty much an immovable object versus an unstoppable force situation. Though, it would only work out like this if R.O.B gets added. Who knows, maybe it really is just Pauline and Funky, and this whole thing was just a waste of time. So, my final prediction for this wave's characters is R.O.B and either Funky Kong or Pauline. Or maybe some ults with Paratroopa, Captain Toad, Dr. Mario, Waifu Picker Toad. Who knows? Well, those are my predictions for the final characters for Wave 6. But what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.